Ooh, ooh. Just had to have a funny moment. But I don't know if y'all would think this would be a funny moment. So this is a WFSO reaction, Bucks edition. So this was somebody posted this out. I think it was Bucks in 4 on X. This is what they proposed, and I don't know. Like I would hate to see Kyle Kuzma go, but it's like, oh, excuse me. It's like I thought we was trying to get younger. Why are we getting older? I don't get some of these the the fans' way of thinking. I really don't get that. Of course, Kuzma is younger than DeMar DeRozan. I think DeMar DeRozan was like 33, 34 or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, DeMar DeRozan is, well, we'll probably find out when we do the trade machine. So this what they raise that up again. Bucks and 4 saying how we feel about this trade. So DeMar DeRozan from the Bucks will get and the Kings will get Kyle Kuzma, the 2025 second round pick, and 2031 second round pick. Bucks can use the DeRozan scoring punch and offensive engine. No, I would not do this trade. Because maybe like getting rid of the 2031 second round pick, that's one thing, but you're not going to get rid of this year's draft pick, and they ain't going to have no like draft cap. But I know they can buy their way into the like draft pick second round or first round, but I don't think there's going to be any sellers in the first round anyway, so they'll probably have a better chance like doing a draft pick for cash considerations. That can happen, but my opinion, keep keep the 2025 one at least. If you want to be dumb enough to do the second round pick of 2031 and 2032, which they can do at the day of the draft, they can do that. But I just don't see this happening because ain't nobody gonna end up taking on Kyle Kuzma. Of course, to some of y'all, he had a horrible season, which I say it was not that bad for a third option, but yeah, it's like one game he's good, then the next game he's not. Just shooting everything, but not shooting everything, but crazy layup moves and stuff like that. Like you throwing it at the rim and like thinking it's going to hit something. It's like you can run into the paint and try to attack, but you can't be scared to finish. So that's one of his problems. That is like he's scared to finish. So what we're gonna do, the NBA trade machine, and we're actually will try this. And oh wow, a lot of the stuff was moved since yesterday, but I see Giannis is still there. Then Michael Porter Jr., Drew Holiday, and Chris Porzingis have moved up a little bit because Boston really got to get rid of the out of the second apron. Second apron, something they added this past season. What's that? Cameron, can't even remember his name. Kevin Durant. I'm surprised about that. And some people was talking about maybe the Bucks can get Kevin Durant. Maybe. And Paul George. There was rumors that he would like to go back to Indiana if he's gonna get traded. Devin Vassell, kind of surprised he's there. Then Dalton Connect, and Kellen Johnson, Messkeeper, Dario Sarvis, Rudy Hamachi, Nick Claxton. Yeah, that'd be something. They can get the center they want if the Bucks would have went for it. Moses Moulay, and there's like a other bunch of other lists. So let's see if there's any more Bucks players on this list. Actually, not. Daniel Graffer, I don't know how, because he's a free agent. Java Kaminga, we heard about rumors about that. Maybe the Bucks would go for him and use like whoever they can trade for. Continuous Batavius Port. Yeah, I forgot it. Sorry. Pope, I mean. So, anyways, yeah, and then Austin Reeves. I'm not surprised. Jalen Brown, which I don't see him going anywhere. But I guess if they need to like cut salary, then why not? Because it seems like they're gonna be mostly out. Like Jalen Tate, yeah, Jason Tatum will be out for like most of the this coming season, and probably we'll be back in the playoffs, or things happens and with Joe like tore MCL or whatever. Tim Hauser, I'm surprised. He's like a decent 3-point shooter, so I'm surprised. Laurie Markkinen, maybe the Bucks can do Kyle Kuzma for Laurie Markkinen if they want to do that. So we will gonna try that one. So but first we're gonna see how this trade they talking about is gonna actually work. So what we're gonna do, get that out of there. Of course the Bucks first. Then the Kings. Weren't the Kings? Yeah, they was in the play-in, but I think they got eliminated by Dallas. So at least they were in the play-in, but I know they want to do a little bit better than that. So let's do this. Okay, they got so okay, DeMar DeRozan had 2 years left in his contract, and so does Kyle Kuzma. But it ain't gonna be no. I think Kuzma does not have the player option on his contract, but DeMar DeRozan, I'm not sure if he does too. So I'm not sure. So you know what? Let's try it anyway. But we're gonna do something a little bit different. I think the amount that they can take is not going to hurt anybody. So no, that's what we're looking for. So believe me, I hate like doing this, but we just doing it for example and seeing like if it's actually going to work. And they said the 2031 second round pick. So it's gonna be crazy, but let's see if this one actually works. Sadly, it does. Although Bucks will be taking a little bit over $2 million from that, and the Kings will take they'll wipe out under $2 million for them. So that actually worked. Milwaukee will has 10 standard contracts after the trade and would need to get to 14. So okay, we're not worried about the roster compliance because everything is not official yet. So we're basing off the off season. But okay, they'll be slightly off on defense, and their offense like increasing to another level. So I'm sorry about that. Of course, more minutes because DeMar DeRozan can play either the small forward or the shooting guard if they want him to. So probably can be the starting shooting guard, but the thing is he's not that good of a 3-point shooter. So I really just don't get why would the Bucks would do this move. Although DeMar DeRozan is a good scorer, but it's like seriously, I don't know, but that's just me. So they'll have more wins with DeMar DeRozan. So what we're gonna do something different with this one before we get to the trade idea that I have. Okay, wait a minute. Not just a trade, but okay, yeah, close. Sorry about that. And yesterday we did, with Bucks hanging on to their like 47 pick. Let's just say that they do that, and yeah, I thought they may get a center, but they could get a guard out of that too if they want to. Maybe like somebody that can be a point guard. So that's what I think they need. But they showed that of course they're gonna need a center and they're gonna need guards, point guards, shooting guards, stuff like that, in case if Kevin Porter Jr. or Gary Trent Jr. do not if Kevin Porter Jr. take his player option and they resign Gary Trent Jr. with the because they said they got a $14.1 million level exception they can use for Gary Trent Jr. if they want to. then plus the 20 million that they would have like space before they get to like the first apron. So I don't think they really would care much if they get to the first apron. So, and plus, hopefully, Portis will, opt in, or what some people want, Pat Connaughton, he can opt out then opt back in for a lesser contract. So that may be something. But so we're gonna do something a little different. Let me reset this and yeah, reset. Okay. So let's just say they actually will do this. Oh, he's 35, so it's like, why would they try to get older? So I really don't get that. Team saying a young Kyle Kuzma, which could evolve in off season, but we're not gonna do any picks. But we are gonna do picks, but we're not gonna do the giving Sacramento like whatever they want. So it's like they getting picks, we should get some picks. So maybe interesting. Maybe they go for a swap. Let's just say a swap. Do a 2025 swap, because they may be able to get some maybe buy maybe buy some some a draft pick. They could do that. So it's mainly Sacramento is like in good shape for the except they don't have a first round pick, but they got some second round picks next year. And for the Bucks, it kind of like question mark. It depends on where things happen next season. Well, next off season. So yeah, they got 2 first round picks in 2 seconds on 2027. And of course, we got ours. We got the right, swap with the Pelicans for the final time. 2028, our pick is kind of like a question mark. It all depends on what's going on. 2028, Kings only got like a first round. 2029, they got a first round, and we don't have it. Oh wow, nice score, 4-5 Brewers, nice. 2030, they both got like a first round pick, but the final time that that Portland had the rights to swap, so the final time they can deal with that. Then of course their 2031 first and second round picks. So probably by the day the draft game actually goes on or whatever, they're gonna put their 2032 first and second round picks. They probably will do that. But you know what, maybe get them a second round pick, and because there was one of them they got like 2 second round picks, because I think they'll be okay with their first round pick. But let's see what we can get. Yeah, they got 2 2031 first round picks. Maybe we gonna go for 2030 through 2028 through 2030, so we don't have to go for that. But just in case things happen, just go for go get their 2027 second round pick. Just do that. So I was like, okay, they getting picks. Why we can't get any picks? So I don't know. I think just some of these, scoopers and YouTubers and people on X just don't even think about, for the other teams that's in this situation. They just really don't think so. Let's try this trade. We know it's gonna work, but just see if, yep, it will work. And I think this is kind of a fair trade, like a 2025 second round pick swap, and they would get a 2027 second round pick, and they can give it their 2031 second round pick. They can do that. So that's what I think that they should do. That's just my opinion. So we ain't like we going to give up a couple of draft picks, then we ain't going to receive no draft pick for taking like an older player of DeMar DeRozan. So that doesn't make any sense. So we're gonna do one more before we end it here. So let's reset, restart. So what we're gonna do here, like I said about that and maybe that Utah Jazz situation. So maybe they be want to get rid of Mario Markin, and yeah, the Jazz did get screwed in the lottery. End up getting the fifth pick instead of the first pick. Washington should have been second, and I think Charlotte was in third, but they ended up getting the fourth pick. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and like a lot of people will speculate that they screwing up the draft and stuff like that. So oh wow, how's that gonna work? So you got 46 million, 0.3 million, and you cannot add Kuzma into this because you can add him into this, but you probably gotta add somebody that's like almost like a 20 million player. So I don't even know how that's gonna work. If we can somehow get it up to close to, let's see, so even they take that contract like by itself, it won't be working because they will be all the way in the second apron. So yeah, because there's no way they're gonna trade Damian Lillard, so that wouldn't even make sense. So we're just gonna do this for example. So yeah, because all the teams, at least they'll be a little bit back to normal. But they can hang on that contract, and if they decide to do that, just do that. And let's see. Got to make something for them to break even. So, okay, just say they decide, take Walker Kessler's or team option or Kyle Kuzma. So either one of those players will be, fine for, for us to take as, center, and who knows what they're going to get from the draft. So let's go with, let's just say a team accepts this option and they actually, trade them. So for us giving them Damian Lillard, and so we will do a couple of picks. So yeah, they got the 5th, the 21st, the 43rd pick, and the 53rd pick. This could be like one of those picks they can be like, okay, they'll do cash consideration for maybe their 53rd pick or their 43rd pick. So they can do that. So I know it's gonna be weird, so let's go do a swap, a second round pick swap. So they still be in there. So nah, that wouldn't work. So Lakers protect their pick from 1st to 4th, which I don't see them, not being in the playoffs anytime soon. So I doubt the Lakers will keep that. So most likely Jazz will get it. 2028 they swap rights. Also swaps right with the second round. So let's see. Maybe we get their 2029 second round pick. and we can at least do a favor and get them our 2031 second round pick. And let's see, what could we take? Dang, they got 2 first round picks in the 2031. The crazy things, just kind of amaze me. So, and let's take their 2030 via Clippers. And let's see. I think we should take one more, but I'm trying to think which one. So let's just say we just take their 2027 no first round pick. And plus, after this coming season, they can be Dame decides, we're gonna get out of our player option and all that, and this is a good fit for because they can do largely marketing at small forward and have Walter Kessler be center. Then what they can do in this year's draft, they can draft a guard, or see if they can try to keep Kevin Porter Jr., Jerry Trent Jr., and Ryan Rollins. So probably Ryan Rollins, they probably gonna give him like a simple contract, maybe like a $1 or $2 million contract. So they could probably do that. So that will be this coming season. It'll be his first full season in the NBA. Well, playing in the NBA instead of being in two-way. So that could be possible. But let's see if this works. Yep, it does work. So like I said, with this year's draft pick swap, and we get them the 2031 second round pick, which we probably wouldn't even care less. Then get the 2027 first round pick, which they kind of have, but I think they might end up losing that one. 2029 second round pick. Why not? We don't have anything in 2029, so why not? And we don't have anything. Oh yeah, we do have a pick swap with Portland for the first round. Then you know what? Just have like a second round pick. So why not? So let's see. Okay, I don't know how that's gonna happen. They're gonna end up with less wins because he won't be playing that season. So of course Bucks will be giving out more minutes, and 0.61. They'll be a little bit better in defense, and although Jazz will be a little bit better on offense, I don't know how that's going to be because he won't be playing. So most likely we'll just say okay, can do a sign and trade for So you are under allowable income amount of 21 million, over 21 million, and plus the 14 million no the 14 million trade level exception. The Bucks do have that, and we'll give and plus Jazz will have 10 million to spare if they want to get somebody off a free agent. They can get somebody that that can be like that. They still will have like tax space with 32 million to spend on the tax before they end up hitting the first apron. So I don't know why, because the first okay, they don't say all that. So but anyways, let's recap that. So let's close this one and recap that. So the total apron, the Bucks will be in is 164 million. So they at least have, 65, 75, 85. So they kind of they got at least like 30 million. Although the tax space, gets 25.9 or 26. Then they got 5 million extra in that $14 million player trade exception that they have. So yeah, I think they're might gonna be okay because I don't think they care again about the first apron. I think they just care more about not getting to the second apron. Because it says that the tax base, then it'll take them up to 31 million if they hit the first apron. I don't think they don't care about that at the moment, but if they just give them like the right players that they need to put in, like I'm glad they keeping Pete Nance for like an extra season in a two-way player and may come up with something. Jeremiah Boyer, I'm not sure about him, and maybe they get to play Tyler Smith more. Play some of their young players more, but then again, you got freaking Doc Rivers. So yeah, it's just like okay, let's. No, I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna do that another time. Like do like a sign and stuff. So they can let Brook Lopez go. So you know what? Bye. They can resign Ryan Rollins, although he's gonna be a restricted free agent. I don't think they should, but they should get Thanasis on a cheap deal. He'll take it. Do what you have to do when it comes to Gary Trent. Pay him, and also get Jericho Sims. You have bird rights on him, so they can at least keep him for a certain amount. And still a young player, 26. So why not? So I know I was gonna do like another move, but the move I was going to try the first time will not work. Especially the players that you don't want to get rid of. But probably wouldn't. The only thing I probably would change, Damian Lillard will be kind of like out of there. So and plus getting like a good one like Walter Kessler and Laurie Markkinen. They still young pieces that you can still use. And the only thing you gotta worry about, age wise, is you have most everybody would be in their 20s except for Pat Connaughton. Yeah, Pat Connaughton will end up being the oldest out of the group, with 32. Then you got Bobby Porter that's gonna be 30. Then you got Giannis that's gonna be 31 in December. And like I said, you still will have like a young group. But that's just me. I don't know, but it's just wait and see. We can speculate and think what we think, but we ain't gonna know what officially happened. And to correct everybody on what I said yesterday about Giannis, he will have a team meeting with the owners, GM, and also I think Doc Rivers will be in that too. So they will have that meeting sometime this week. We don't know exactly when. It was this week instead of what I thought would be next week. So it's this week. So right now, it's gonna be the wait and see. Then after that, the Bucks will know what they need to do by then and go from there. But hopefully he stays and ride with the team for the rest of his career. Although you got social media analysts like on sports shows just saying that he should leave because they rather see him like in a big market team, which just don't make any sense. Because it seems, because in my opinion, you got like like international players that are like loyalty to a team. So then again, America, half the times, especially when you start creating like super teams, there's really no such thing as loyalty with some of them. Even though you're getting more money on the same team you're staying with, but what more can you do? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like this video if you like today's video. We also talk about not just Milwaukee Bucks, but wrestling, comic book movies, and TV news, and Milwaukee development. So if that's your interest, please subscribe to us. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we got plans, what to do in 2026, especially with giveaways and stuff. So you have opportunity, please subscribe. We will thank you enough, and without you guys, there will be no us. So also 2,700 videos and counting on this channel, and also one of the longest running channels on YouTube. And also check out the website WrestlingFansSpeakout.weebly.com. Upcoming events, videos like this, pictures. We were at events, like wrestling events, and also Bucks events. Met some players, met some wrestlers as well. So, and more stuff on there. I wanted to thank Mike and Robin Thompson and Midwest Wrestling Collectibles for their sponsorship. So if you're interested in like wrestling figures, wrestling DVDs, wrestling VHS, you can go to Midwest Wrestling Collectibles, and you can find them on Facebook. So they may have a lot to things that you may want to get from there. So you never know, classic matches and things like that. So that probably would pique people's interest. But anyways, thank you guys for watching once again. Until the next video, y'all have a good one.